Section 30 of the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, translated by Courtney Langdon. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Inferno, Canto 30. The Eighth Circle, Fraud. The 10th Trench. Falsifiers of persons, money, and words.
When Juno, on account of Semele, was angry with the royal blood of Thebes, as several times she showed herself to be, so fiercely mad did Athamas become, that when he saw his wife approaching him, burdened by her 2 sons on either side, "Spread we the nets," he cried, "that I may take upon their passing lioness and cubs." And thereupon stretched out his cruel claws, and taking hold of one, Learchus named, whirled him around, and dashed him gainst a rock. His wife then with the other drowned herself. Again, when fortune so low down had brought the Trojans arrogant all-daring power, that with their kingdom shattered was their king, Hecuba, sad, forlorn, and captive now, when she had seen her dead Polyxena, and in her painful anguish had perceived her Polydorus lying on the beach, out of her senses barked as would a dog, so greatly had her suffering turned her mind. But ne'er did Furies, or of Thebes or Troy, reveal in any one such cruelty, in goading beasts or much less human limbs, as that which I beheld in 2 death-pale and naked shades, who ran around and bit as doth a boar when from the sty let out. One reached Capocchio, and so thrust his tusks into his neck behind, that dragging him, he made his belly scrape the solid ground. The Aretine, still trembling, said to me,
"That imp is Gianni Schicchi, who, enraged, goes all around ill-treating others thus."
Then, "Oh," I said to him, "so may the other not fix his teeth in thee, be not too tired to tell me who he is, before he skips." And he to me,
"That is the ancient soul of wicked Mirror, who, outside the bounds of lawful love, became her father's mistress. She came to sin with him by counterfeiting another person in herself, as did the other one who yonder goes away, that he might gain the lady of the stud, to counterfeit Buoso Donati's self, and make his will and give it legal form."
When the 2 furious souls on whom my eyes were fixed had passed away, I turned them round to look upon the other evil born. And one I saw who like a lute was shaped, if he had only had his groin cut off down in the region where a man is forked. The heavy dropsy which unmates the limbs in such a way with ill-digested humour, that face and paunch no longer correspond, were causing him to keep his lips apart, as doth the hectic, who because of thirst turns one lip chinward and the other up.
"O ye that are, and wherefore I know not, free from all torment in this world of woe,"
said he to us,
"behold and pay attention to Master Adam's wretched misery. When living, I had all that I desired, and now, alas, I crave a drop of water. The little brooks which toward the Arno run, down from the Casentino's green-clad hills, and render all their channels cool and fresh, are evermore before me, nor in vain, because their image makes me drier far than this disease, which strips my face of flesh. The rigid justice which is scourging me takes from the very place in which I sinned the means to give my sighs a greater flight. There lies Ravenna, where I falsified the coin on which the Baptist's form is stamped. For that I left my body burned above. But could I see the woeful soul of Guido, or Alexander, or their brother here, for Fontebranda I'd not give the sight. One is in here already, if the shades who go around here raging tell the truth. But what is that to me, whose limbs are bound? If only I were still so light of foot, that I could in 100 years advance 1 inch, I'd be already on the road, in search of him among the loathsome people. Although this trench goes round 11 miles, and is no less than half a mile across, through them am I in such a family, for they persuaded me to coin the florins, which had at least 3 carats of alloy.
Then I to him said, Who are those 2 wretches who, smoking like wet hands in winter time, are lying there beside thee on thy right?
I found them here.
He answered,
When I reined into this ditch, since when they have not turned, nor will, I think, for all eternity. One is the woman who charged Joseph falsely, the other Sinon, Troy's deceitful Greek. Their burning fever makes them reek like this.
And one of them, who felt aggrieved perhaps at being named so darkly, smote the speaker upon his hard stiff belly with his fist. It made a sound as it had been a drum. Then Master Adam smote him with his arm, which did not seem less hard, upon his face, and said,
Though I of motion be deprived, by reason of my limbs which heavy are, I have an arm that's loose for needs like this.
Then he replied,
When going to the fire thou hadst it not so ready, but just so and more thou hadst it when thou madest coin.
He of the dropsy,
Here thou sayest true, but thou wast not so true a witness there, where thou wast questioned of the truth at Troy.
If I spoke falsely, thou didst falsify the coin.
said Sinon,
I'm for 1 sin here, and thou for more than any other demon.
Remember, perjurer, the horse,
replied he of the swollen paunch.
and bitter be for thee that known it is by all the world.
I'll be for thee the thirst wherewith thy tongue is cracking,
Said the Greek,
and that foul water which for thine eyes thus makes thy porch a hedge.
Thereat the coiner said,
As is its wont, thy mouth in speaking evil gapeth wide. For though I'm thirsty, and humour stuffs me out, thine is the fever and the aching head, and thou'dst not stand in need of many words, bidding thee lick the mirror of Narcissus.
On listening to them I was all intent, when
Now be careful there,
my teacher said,
for I am not far from quarrelling with thee.
When I thus heard him speak to me in anger, such was the shame wherewith I turned to him, that through my memory it is circling still. And such is he who dreameth of his harm, and dreaming wishes that he dreamt, and thus, as if it were not, longs for that which is. Such I became, who, impotent to speak, would fain excuse myself, and all the while was doing so, but did not think I was.
Less shame would wash away a greater fault than thine hath been.
My teacher said to me,
Therefore unburden thee of all thy sadness, and count on me as ever at thy side, if it again should chance that fortune find thee where folk in such a wrangle are engaged. For vulgar is the wish to hear such things.
End of Inferno, Canto 30.